I just thought he was a cool wrestler. And then I got to meet him when I was wrestling, and he knew who I was, which really blew my mind. I was like,
Wow.
wow, this is a guy I grew up watching, and he knows exactly who I am. And we had an incredible conversation. And the whole time I was just marking out, thinking, wow, I'm talking to superstar Billy Graham, and he's cool as
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Apter Chat. And with me is one of the most controversial people in the business. He always says what's on his mind. He doesn't hold anything back. And many years back, you all remember the Cow title, Championship Office Wrestling. Wonderful Willie holding this championship belt that Reggie Parks made for me. One day, Rey Mysterio came to the office, to the magazine office, and he wanted to win the belt for me, and Konnan was with him. And just as I had Rey almost beaten, Konnan interferes. Rey turns it into a Boston Crab. Luckily, one of the other editors there disqualified everybody. Why did you attack me?
That was a historic night. Well, you always got to have your friends back. You know, it's a historic night. Staff sell out. Tickets were bought. Bets were made. You know, and I put my money on Rey, so I had to make sure that I got my investment back. Nothing personal, just business.
Well, luckily it was a non-title match. So
yes, it was.
Wonderful Willie still has the gold. So if you ever get to an office and you want to look at this, come and get it. Konnan, it's so good to see you, my friend who I haven't seen or talked to. And so, how is your health?
Yeah, good, very, very good. Thank you very much. It wasn't good before, but it's much better now.
Yeah, you went through a few bumps in the road, but I'm so glad to see you. Yeah. So we're taping this. I don't know when this will be aired, but we're taping this the day after superstar Billy Graham passed away. And did you know him?
I did meet him, and let me tell you the great story about Superstar. So I had seen him in Miami, which is where I grew up. But he was also on the station that I got in Miami from LA. But the first time I saw him was on the covers of your magazine.
Really?
And he was a larger than life guy, as you know, as were a lot of guys back then, Mil Mosquez, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair. I mean, they were just larger than life characters, you know. And I remember seeing him there, and I remember him wrestling in Miami, and I was mesmerized because, as you know, he was a great promo. He was very entertaining. You know, he was way ahead of his time. You know, and so many people have been inspired by him, whether it's Dusty Rhodes or Hulk Hogan. You know, this was the man to
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura, 1,000%. And he was the man to me. And I grew up not wanting to be a wrestler. Like most people, like most of the wrestlers I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to be a wrestler. And I'm like, really? And I didn't, you know, I just thought he was a cool wrestler. And then I got to meet him when I was wrestling, and he knew who I was, which really blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is a guy I grew up watching, and he knows exactly who I am. And we had an incredible conversation. And the whole time I was just marking out, thinking, wow, I'm talking to superstar Billy Graham, and he's cool as, you know, and he was. Yeah.
And now in today's wrestling world, you know, there was superstar Billy Graham who inspired Austin Idol, Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura. But I know you followed the business today. That type of character doesn't exist anymore, does it?
I don't see it in today's wrestling, but it's like everything else, Bill. Sometimes we think what was better in our time is, you know, but I do think, you know, we don't have those bigger than life personalities that we have because it's a different era, and it's a different wrestling, it's a different mindset, it's a different fan base, you know, and everything from movie to music to wrestling to everything in between changes. Even if you look at what sport do you like, basketball or football?
No, I'm a wrestling boxing guy.
You're a boxing guy. Okay. So let's look at boxing. And I could do this for any sport. You know, boxing before was 15 rounds, right? boxing, and even before that, it was even more rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, there's boxing matches that went 2 hours, and that's why they had the set rules and like that, the Queensberry rules and all that. And so, but before, if you remember, there were only like 5 or 6 weight divisions. Now there's the super welterweight and the super middleweight, and you got the IBF and the WBO, and and everything just changes. And a lot of it is.
They had larger than life character. They have larger than life characters too. The days of Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. They're gone.
Right. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, huge over the day. It was like, now it's just like kind of laid back. Everybody's kind of happy and friendly, and nobody wants to offend anybody, and there's no real animosity and that, and the what's these guys called? The wrestlers today, are just a different breed, and they have their own things that they like. And our era was over the top characters. Even in music, if you're watching a David Bowie or a Mick Jagger or, Robert Plant or Michael Jackson or Prince, they were just over the top performers. You don't see that as much today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think it's more of a generational thing. But Jesse the Body was incredible promo, a draw everywhere he went, and definitely much respect to him.